Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my family's home slides. Here's the family. I based it, it's not exactly my situation, but I based it off of mine and my husband's situation, what it will be in the next couple years. This is Trevor and I. We're both 24. We've been almost married almost 2 years, and we'll be graduating soon and hopefully going to grad school. Um, The interesting thing about our case is that we actually, in our first year of marriage, bought a little fixer-upper home that we live in right now and rent out the other side of it. It's a duplex. So when we move out, we'll actually be looking for our second home. I don't know, we're still deciding if we'll rent it or sell it to help us pay for grad school, but that's one of the interesting factors. And yeah, so there's that. We're considering just going back to renting as I enter grad school. Here's the dream home in the state, which is Massachusetts, where I hope to get into school. It's listed at $199,900. It'd be ideal because we love big living rooms, we love family gatherings, and Trevor's must is a big yard, and it's also an adorable home. Here's the modest home. It's significantly less. It's listed at 119K, and it has the same interest rate for both. We'd qualify for about 4%, is what we're thinking. The payment on this one would be 568 a month, and then the other one would be 954, which already goes a little bit over the 25% rule that we learned, because their income's about 3,600 right now a month. Here is the monthly budget. I guess I changed it a little bit as time went on. The only difference from what it is right now is the 600 a month won't happen until Kylie and Trevor move out. It's other income from their renters from their first home, and that's if they decide to rent instead of sell. And that includes all the tithing donations, all that good stuff, and zeroes out at the end. One interesting thing that I learned on this assignment, the loan terms and interest rates. It was this point when I decided that for my project I would do the modest home because I realized, well, first off, the only loan with 0 points was pretty much this one, the 15-year, and the difference between the 15-year payment on the modest home was barely a little tiny bit more than the payments on the 30-year loan on the dream home. So it'd definitely be way worth it to buy the modest home and pay and save 15 years. Here's my slide on taxes. Property tax is pretty high out there. It's 187 a month. The family tax liability is over 5 grand without a home, and just a little over 4 grand with a home. So that's something to take in consideration, that it could be a benefit to be homeowners at that point in their life. Transportation for us is not bad. We have 3 cars that we paid cash for. They're not luxury, but they are reliable, and so that's probably what they plan to stick with for the next few years until they pay off most of their debts, I think. This is what I drive, a Kia Spectra, and here's the little chart from Edmunds.com. We have an old truck. It's not really what we drive around, but we use it for projects and renovations and stuff. And then this is the 2011 Nissan Versa that Trevor drives around, and so they're expected to be good, hopefully, for the next, at least 3 or 4 more years, and then we'll think about purchasing maybe a little bit newer or nicer car. And luckily we don't have any car debts, but we do have some other debts, and tithing, as we learned, is $360 a month for now. And then Trevor took out a loan his first year of college, so we pay $100 a month on that, and hoping to pay that off in the next year and a half for a total of $460 a month. And then the PITI amount, I put the example for the modest home since I decided to stick with that one. It came out close to Zillow's PITI, which is 685 or 686. I don't know where that extra dollar came from. And then with the back end ratio calculations, it came out to be 1296. That we don't want to pay more than 1296 a month for all of our debts, including the mortgage, for the 36% rule. So both of the houses stay under 1296, but with the other debts, we go over the 36% rule when we buy the dream home instead of the modest home. And then here's a little chart of buying a home versus continuing to rent. Um, it's a lot of the things we talked about in class. I'll move this so you can kind of see. But you know, it's nice to not have to worry about repairs or paying for replacements when you're renting, and so that's one major reason why they plan on just going a few months renting after they move out to Massachusetts, as they save up for a down payment for their modest home. And there's no shame in that because even though they qualify to buy a home, it doesn't mean it's the best thing for them. But the pros of having, you know, almost the same monthly cost for a mortgage and the appreciation, it will appreciate a lot in value, and so that's a good investment. And all of those will motivate them to eventually buy a house in the next maybe year or so. So yeah, that's just what I explained there. This was an awesome part of the assignment where we calculated the difference between the 15-year loan and the 30-year loan with the interest. With the interest rates we qualified for in the calculator, it showed that the 15-year would be 34 grand interest and the 30-year would be 88 grand. So that's a difference of 54 grand that Kylie and Trevor would pay if they went with the 30-year loan instead of the 15. So that was a big motivator to go to the 15. And then here's all the home worth in 30 years, the appreciation and investing assignment. So calculating the modest home appreciation and investing that difference instead of buying the dream home, it came out to be worth it. They made a lot more money buying the modest home and investing the difference than the just getting that money from the dream home's appreciation in value. So that was another kind of little motivator to go with the modest home instead of the dream home. And then here is my conclusion that the value of the modest home plus the appreciation, or putting that extra money from the difference between the dream home and modest home into an investment, made the family a lot more money in the long run than just letting the nice home appreciate in value. They'd save over 700,000 in the long run for choosing this option. So knowing this, as well as some of the other factors we learned about, I listed them here: debt repayments, down payment options, emergency funds, interest rates, and more. That's all led the family to choose the modest home after a little bit of time. Even though we both really want the dream home, it's just smarter financially to go with the modest home. And then I wrote their little game plan for the future down here, that their family decided to continue renting for another year and a half. So that was the exact amount of time that it took for them to get to that 10% down payment while Kylie starts graduate school. And that way they'll be able to save up for their 6-month emergency fund. And then also have that down payment, and then they'll buy that house and hopefully start their family there. So thank you for watching my presentation, and I'm grateful for all of your attention, and that's my project.